you want to look at our society as a whole, and we want what every generation wants, which is to leave it better for our children, food is the center point. Food is the one thing connected to all the other issues we face, from politics to economics to transportation, job security, health issues. I mean, we can talk about any issue, any hot button issue or any other issue that you want to discuss, and we can track it back to food. So food is the one in the center of this societal web that we need to fix. It's the most important one. What's the name mean? Well, there's two very good stories of the name. One not appropriate for television, and the other one that just seemed to fall in line with what we do is, the name means sustainable, local, organic, and community oriented. What we've done here at SLOCO is figure out how to take this local food movement and transition it from the fine dining tables and $30 plates to $9 sandwiches. And that comes from years of doing it on the fine dining level. But what I noticed as an advocate for food security across the board and food policy issues is that until we change the dollar stream surrounding local food, we're never going to get it past the glory media writings of the fancy food places. That if we really want to make food systems change, we have to change the food system the same way that fast food did 50 years ago. And that's by developing restaurants, developing businesses, focused on reinvigorating the local food support system and the system itself by getting it to as many people as possible. So the model that we've set at SLOCO, $9 sandwiches, affordable food, and in order to do that, we use whole animal cookery, we use every part of everything. We've mastered all the little tricks to make sure that we can buy the food that's naturally more expensive, as it should be, and still serve it at an affordable price. Interestingly enough, we set this business up to expand. We set it up to be the next Subway. We realized that, I'm not a business guy, I'm a concept guy, I'm a policy guy, and I'm a cook. So the meetings that we had with big money all fell back to the same result, which was, when do you buy from big box food corporation? Never. Over the last 5 years, we had a menu that really never changed. It was written with a broad stroke that allowed itself to change with the season. So you would come in and you would see the same sandwich, but what we had within that sandwich, particularly on the vegetable side, was always in flux. We can get things like pork, chicken, beef, cheeses all year long. That stuff's readily available. The local chicken farmers, they grow a lot in the summer and they freeze it and you pull it out of the freezer in the winter. So we've established the systems and the support structure to allow us to do that within this region, and we can do the same thing picking up this business and putting it anywhere in the country. And we can drop the same menu. It's just what we're sourcing from those areas is what changes within the ingredients. Shockingly, in the 12 South area, it was a needed piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of families around here, and it's not always easy to wait an hour with kids to get in one of the restaurants in our neighborhood to eat. So we've added dinner to the mix and added another layer of options that we serve. We went back to the kind of old school neighborhood chalkboard menu, and we're actually changing things more frequently and just having a little more fun with it. If you eat seasonably, naturally you're eating locally for the most part, because you're not just buying whatever's in the grocery store. So you're connected to the farmers, you're keeping your money in your community. You're probably going to be healthier because you're eating food that's better for you at the time it's supposed to be eaten. It's got higher nutrients, and we can grow this list as long as you want to grow it. But seasonal food is what humans are meant to eat. And if you go back in history and civilization, initially we followed the food. That's how we lived for thousands of years until we settled down with agriculture. But even then, we had to put up food in the wintertime or in the summertime for the wintertime. We had to create a lot of techniques that are now fancy food cooking techniques that really were just a way that you can survive. We love what we're doing. We have really focused on becoming the neighborhood joint and the place where everybody walks up and eats. And we have established that over the last 5 to 6 years, especially with adding dinner to the mix. We opened our little bar next door a couple of years ago. And those little combinations and additions that we've done to the business Friday night is basically a neighborhood block party every Friday night. Like everybody walks up with their kids. You know, there's always 30-40% kids here. And, you know, I think we're missing that in Nashville with the growth that we're seeing and the kind of food scene we're developing. You know, it's now kind of time to revert back to that 1950s neighborhood restaurants where people gathered on the corner in front of the neighborhood place, and that's where you had your discussions and your meetings and decided, you know, where the sidewalks were going to go and when do you want to call the mayor about, you know, putting a street light in, and you know, that's where that happened. And you know, with this growth, which we can't stop, but we can make sure that with this growth, we have the kind of city we want to live in and what Nashville really is, which has always been, you know, that small town community. And just by the nature of how we run our business is we really focus on community giving. And it's just by supporting the local farmers, supporting the local, you know, business scene on the food side, by offering what all of those people are growing to the community around us. The simple answer is we specialize in being awesome. So there are no bad choices on the menu. It really doesn't matter what you get. By buying real food, your food is good. And our motto really is, you know, get real food and just try not to screw it up.